Well, 2022 is almost drawing to an end. I have to say, we had some great memories 2022. But however, we continue on to review what's left of 2022. First off, we got ChocoPro 280 that only has 3 matches. Now, this is one of 5 shows that will be taking place throughout the new year by ChocoPro. So we'll be talking about that. And then after that, we got the last show by GLEAT with version 4. We have the 2 championships on the line. We have, of course, the G Infinity titles, which is the tag titles, and the top titled G Rex title. We have some special matches. Amongst them is Luigi Primo, the resident pizza guy. And of course, members of the LIJ from New Japan will make their appearance as well. And then we move on with AEW Rampage, which is the last show of 2022, where we have the All Atlantic Championship, the TBS Championship, and 2 special matches are taking place. So we'll be talking about that, and of course, who levels up on this episode of NXT Level Up. And of course, we'll cap it up with, of course, some news updates to talk about what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get started with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's begin with ChocoPro 280. This is one of 5 shows taking place throughout the end of this year to the start of New Year. And we open up with tag match. We have Chiko Shikawa teaming up with Arnako Montaña to take on Ender Kane and Masahiro Takanashi. I have to say, Ender Kane, he's very interesting. I never seen him. Now, I'm not sure if he's a part of that one group of wrestlers that came to promote a show featuring some of the Yoshi wrestlers, a Dream, but he was impressive, doing like these spinning spinning front kicks or whatever they call it. But I'm like impressed by him. But however, Arnako made a mistake by pushing Chiko Shikawa outside through the window, but it did allow for Masahiro to apply the inside cradle. 1, 2, 3. They win the match, and I think this was a very devastating loss from both Chi and Arnako. Next match, we have this really weird, wacky 3-way match. We have Sayaka Obihiro, Antonio Honda, and this guy named Jackie Numazuma. I don't know who this guy is, but much of the match throwing a bit of the comedy and all this. I don't know if I was too fond of it. That's the thing that bothers me, you know? But I don't know exactly what they're saying in Japanese. I mean, normally we would hear this from Balinaki because he makes mostly accurate translation, but since he's here in the US, we will never know. I mean, I hope he goes back to Japan since he is a Super Asia champion. That's something we can expect. But however, whatever Antonio Honda did, it did allow him to win the match. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Miya Yotsuba teaming up with her mentor, Mei Shiruga, to take on the veteran Saki and Mochi Natsumi. Now, I know these two, I don't know if they ever teamed up before or come across each other, but Saki is a veteran of the game. She just celebrated her birthday recently, and she put out a show called King of Wild Um, I haven't seen any videos, but I've seen photos. Everybody in this battle royal were dressed up like her. But it was a good match. I did like how Mei Shugo tried to withstand Saki. But however, once again, we see like a bit of the rivalry between both. Well, a bit of the rematch or whatever you want to call it between Yotsuba and Natsumi. They have fought before in a one-on-one match, but however, that match ended with Natsumi doing it. Now, the obvious thing is, will history repeat itself? Well, it kind of did. Mochi Natsumi picked up the win by pinning Miya Natsuba, and it was over right from there. Now, I don't know what she said to her, but it kind of probably shows that maybe she may be tough, but I don't know exactly. But yeah, I don't know. But we know Mia will grow up. This is we've seen that with many of the girls that come from the dojo. That is obvious. Now we move on with the Janken tournament. I wasn't sure. Now Mochi Natsumi has been lucky twice, um, but the one person I did not expect was Mei Shiruga to win. She even beat Mochi Natsumi, and that was it. So she was happy that she finally won the chocolate. But of course, we celebrated the birthday of Saki. It was great. They brought her some cake. Um, she get to enjoy. So I think that's pretty much it. But like I said, this is one of 5 shows. So one showdown, 4 more to go. I will throw that one. I will talk more about that at the end of it, of this episode. But let's move on with GLEAT version 4. Okay, our last show of GLEAT version 4. It opened the first half of the matches. They're all UWF matches. Now, those who are new to the channel, you probably ask yourselves, what the hell is UWF? This is more of either a knockout or submission or pinfall type of match. Um, it's not. It's almost similar to MMA, but the only difference is there's like certain ways to pick up the points. They'll give each 5 points. It's kind of confusing, but if you see it yourself, you see what I mean. But let's talk about that. Our first match, we have Riona Fujiwara taking on Minoru Tanaka. Um, I I don't know much about this guy Fujiwara, but Minoru Tanaka, man, he can get the job done. He actually applied an ankle lock that forced him to tap out, and that gave him the win. Next match, tag team action, but this time is the Yoshi Girls taking the spot. Team number 1, we have Yura Suzuki, who's from the promotion Alma Libre. She teamed up with Sendai Girls Mika Iwata, taking on the GLEAT residents, Maya Fukuda and Mochi Miyagi. Now, I wasn't too sure how this was going to end because the way I see it, the last time these two teamed up during an IUWF Fight Rules, there have been moments where, of course, Maya Fukada was the one who ends up losing. But unfortunately, it did not happen this way. She knocked out um, Suzuki with a strong kick knockout, just like that. And I think Mochi Miyagi was very impressed by her. As you know, Fukuda actually did pick up a win with Miyagi, but at the end of the match, Suzuki was not not pleased with the way this match was lost. But I would count out that we will see those two somehow butt heads again. We just don't know when. Next match, we have Shinya Aoki and Takanori Ito. Man, this match was good. I have to say it was one of the most impressive matches I've ever watched. I just enjoy everything. I'm just Shinya Aoki. He's mostly been involved either like grappling or submission or mixed martial arts type. But however, this match ended in a 15-minute time limit draw. So just like that. Now our last match for the UWF rules, we have leader of 60 seconds Tetsuya Izushi taking on Yu Izuka. I have to say this match was also pretty good. I know that Izushi, he's been very impressive, making a name for himself in GLEAT, but he won by knockout. Uh, Very impressive. So we'll see what happens then. Now we move on to the wrestling stuff. We have 6-man tag match. We have Septimo Dragon, Jack Cartwheel, and Soma Watanabe taking on the members of 60 Seconds, Keishi Sato and Jun Tonsho. They team up with the base god, Gringo Loco. And I think this is Gringo Loco's first time being in this promotion. Jack Cartwheel has been in this promotion before. It was pretty good. A lot of high spots in this particular match, but it was the Gringo Bomb by Gringo Loco onto what's his name? Onto Jack Cartwheel that sealed the deal and win the match. Now our next match, this is a battle of the Behemoths. We have Quiet Storm versus Hartley Jackson. Now, the last time these two fought, Hartley Jackson feels that this is his turf now since he's the big guy in GLEAT. But however, it was of course Quiet Storm with the schoolboy, a very effective move that allowed him to win the match. However, when the match was over, for some odd reason, Gringo Loco shows up and attacks him. It was very unusual, but luckily, Quiet Storm was saved by someone. I don't know where he's been. Kazuma Sakamoto just showed up. So I don't know what's the reasons of Gringo Loco coming out and beating down Quiet Storm. I know that Hartley Jackson is aligned with Ishida and Black Generation. So what is the purpose with Gringo Loco doing this? Unknown. Hopefully, when we get close enough, we'll find out. Now, our next match, we have a very special match. We got Shima taking on Luigi Primo. Now, if you guys never seen Luigi Primo, he's the guy who has pizza. And I thought this match was really, really entertaining, really fun. There was a moment where, of course, Shima says, I'm going to bring the pizza cutter. Yeah, he said that. I'm like, but I enjoyed it. So I loved it. I enjoyed every moment of this match. But however, it was Shima with the pinfall onto Primo. I thought it was amazing. And of course, he gave the respect to Luigi Primo. I wouldn't be surprised if Luigi Primo returns to GLEAT. I think he's a source of entertainment for them. So, but like I said, like Orange Cassidy, Wendy Chu, and various other wrestlers who I think they're unique. Luigi's that guy on that list as well. Now, our first championship match is the G Infinity titles, which is the tag titles in a 3-way match. Team number 1, we have the members of Strong Hearts, Issei Inuzuka and Shigehiro Iri versus Black Generation, Flamita and Yutani versus the champions, Bulk Orchestra's Czech Shimatani and Hayato Tamura. Now, X factor in this match, Bulk Orchestra doesn't need to be pinned. Anything can go with the other teams, but however, I have to say it was pretty impressive. But in this case, it was of course the Muscle Buster by Hayato Tamura onto Issei by Onizuka that allowed them to retain the titles. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams would definitely want to have another shot at them, but that only will time tell. Next match, another special match, we have Kaz Hayashi teaming up with T-Hawk of Strong Arts. They take on LIJ's Bushi and Sonata. Now, I have to say it's pretty good. I'm a big fan of the LIJ stuff. I'm considering buying myself some LIJ shirts. Just waiting for the right timing to do that. But I love every moment of this match. I love what happened, but it was Sonata who picked up the win with the moonsault, and that was it. Now our main event is the G-Rex Championship between Kaito Ishida and El Lindaman. Now Ishida was the one who requested this match, who put himself in line to challenge for this belt, and I thought in my mind that maybe Ishida will try to dethrone him, but however, El Lindaman, who is resilient, very athletic, very strong, was able to retain his title by applying the German suplex. So he retained the title, but the obvious question, who will be the next competitor to step up? Well, we'll see what 2023 will hold for El Lindaman, so we'll just wait. So I think that's pretty much it for GLEAT. Let's move on with AEW Rampage. Okay, AEW Rampage. It opened up with the All Atlantic Championship between Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy. Now, we know how this game is played. However, Kip Sabian is sticking close watching to this. Now, as I mentioned before, Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy are good friends, but the obvious question is, how well do they know each other? Are they willing to cross the line to get what they want? That is the most psychological thing I've seen in this match. However, there was a moment it seems like Orange Cassidy was about to do the orange punch, but he hesitated. Now, Kip Sabian calls that is a bit of a coward thing for him to do. I think he was playing this just to throw him off his game, but that's what it was. But did Orange Cassidy use it? It did. And I'm sure Kip Sabian is trying. He's making so much fun knowing that, yeah, he played the psychological game here, who believes that he is the true classiest person that should be the one carrying that title. However, while that match was over, he walks in and faces his opponent. I think his name was Itiba. Well, in that particular match, Kip Sabian decided to mock Orange Cassidy by applying the orange punch, just like he did. Try to play mind games. But the real question is, will Kip Sabian obtain this belt, or Orange Cassidy retain? We just gotta wait and see until that day comes. Now, we do get an interview with with La Facción Ingobernable. 10 now he calls himself Pero Peligroso, which means danger dog, dangerous dog. He even has a match coming up next week on Rampage. The opponent is still unknown, but he did make the record straight. He feels no remorse for what he did to Dark Order, so we just gotta wait and see what happens next week to find out. Now, our next interview is coming from, well, I skipped an interview. One is with Darby Allin, where he, in fact, is challenging Samoa Joe for the TNT title in his hometown of Seattle. So he has this particular thing about doubt. People think he cannot beat Samoa Joe. He even asks Sting. So he tells him to stop thinking what others are thinking. Just do it. Go for it. And he's right. Stop believing what the doubters think. Just do what you do best. That's all. That match will happen on this coming Wednesday on Dynamite, which is the start of the new year. Now, our next interview with Jon Moxley by Tony Schiavone. Well, he addresses the Hangman about he felt that he and Hangman were two of the top wrestlers from day one. However, there's the old classic one. There can only be one, and Moxley declared himself being that guy. So he did propose that get medically cleared, and they'll have the little showdown in LA at the forum. And I have to say, I'm gonna be there for that. I'm excited. Now, on Dynamite, we saw that this track with Acclaim, well, their challengers are not happy or thrilled. Particularly, they're pissed off because of the way they found it. I have to say, the Acclaim makes a better video than those idiots. So, so we'll see what happens. Now, our next match, we have the TBS title. Kiera Hogan, formerly of the Baddies, taking on her former boss, Jade Cargill. Now, you know Kiera Hogan will try to do exactly what she was going to do. She knows exactly how Jade Cargill operates, how she works. But however, something happened in this match. Red Velvet tried to stop Jade. Now, for quite some time, we have seen a new attitude with Red Velvet. The only assumption I can see in this, possibly Red Velvet did not agree with the idea of Jade getting rid of Kiera Hogan. Now, Kiera Hogan was removed due to the fact that maybe Jade looked at her as useless. But however, this didn't change the outcome of the match. It kind of, once again, with the Jaded, Kiera Hogan lost. But however, Jade wins by 40-0. So that is the thing that goes on. But as for Red Velvet, she walked her own path. Does this mean that she is no longer going to be associated with Jade Cargill or the Baddies? We will just wait and see. Now, our final interview coming from Lexi Neer. It appears Mark Sterling is a little pissed off at Bryan Danielson. As you know, Bryan Danielson decided the target, and he thought Mark Sterling thinks that this has to end. So he believes he can take care of it, but Tony Nese decided, I'm going to take care of it myself. Well, be careful what you wish for. You're dealing with a master technician, and I think that's one of the things that we got to be waiting for. Now, our next match, our main event, we have Swerve Strickland taking on Wheeler Yuta. This is a violent match. I was like very, very brutalized, very technical, very like try to break someone's bones. But however, the X factor is we have Parker and this other tattooed freak being there, but they didn't do anything. So, but however, there was a moment when the ref was knocked out. Swerve used that as advantage to low blow Wheeler Yuta to win the match. I'm sure the Blackpool Combat Club are not going to take this kindly, because even though Strickland won, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to war. So, Swerve applied the JML onto Wheeler, and that's pretty much it. So, this is the last show of Rampage of 2022. Can't wait to see how 2021 is going to be. So right now, let's move on to our last final review, which is NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this episode of NXT Level Up? Let's find out. Our first match, we have Thea representing Chase U, being accompanied by both Duke Hudson and Andre Chase, taking on Amari Miller. Now, I thought this match was pretty impressive. Now, we know Dale Hill has all the tools in need, but however, she knows she's fired up, but she has to find the perfect way to execute. Amari Miller has a little bit more experience than her, but however, once again, in this type of match, Dale was able to to prevail by applying this face-first type of dragging the person to the face. 1, 2, 3. That's another win for Chase U. Now, we do get an interview with Oro Menza. He actually acknowledged Javier Bernal, his opponent, Big Body Javi, as he proclaims himself. But that match will be at the main event, so we will be sticking close to that. Now, our next match we have tag team action. This is the Battle of Behemoths, as some people like to call it. Big men. Team number one, we have Lucian Price and Bronson Nima versus Oba Femi and Bryson Montana. Now, I have to say this was a pretty good match because these are big individuals. I think this is one of those matches where we can all say we love how to see big wrestlers fight, and it keeps it all exciting. But I feel that Femi and Montana are the one team that's not seem more established. Now, Nima and what's his name? Price. They are an established team. They've known each other for many years. They've known each other since kids. That plays a good factor. But their offense, their combination, were able to allow them to win the match by pinning for Price to pin Montana. And 1, 2, 3, it was just done like that. In our main event, we have Javier Bernal, or as he calls himself, Big Body Javi, taking on Oro Mensa. Good match, really fun. Now, did Javier actually got the job done? The answer to that is no. That heel kick by Oro Mensa played a big factor to help him win the match, and that's how it's done, folks. So, I have to say, we already know who leveled up today, but I think that's pretty much it. So, let's move on with our last thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to the news updates. First things first, you may have heard the return of Charlotte Flair. I have to say, it's very great to see her after who knows how long. She immediately goes after Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's Championship and won it. Now, I did not see the match. I did see the the news that goes out, so I'm sure there'll be talk about this along the way. And of course, Andrade is happy for his wife, so we'll see what happens then. Now, updates for GCW's events of 2023. For the Save Me event in Chicago on the 7th, it was announced for a one-night only Hater Club consisting of Nick Gage and Matt Tremont reunite once again. They take on the Young Pillars, Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne. I think this is going to be a good match. You know, the youngsters versus the old schoolers. Next, we have the Don't Talk to Me on the 20th of January, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina. The GCW tag team titles will be put on the line, so those Macizos will be taking on the Ugly Dunklins. Yeah. And finally, the middle of the night event that takes place in LA on the 18th of February of 2023. It's announced that Leo Rush will be facing Commander. I think this is going to be a good match. Now, Ice Ribbon just recently had their event. I think it's Ribbon Mania. Their champion, the Triangle Ribbon champion, Yuki Mashiro, has retired. And she had her opponent against our new one-third of the Artist of Stardom champions, Suzuki, was her opponent. Zuzu, for the record, showed up with the belt. Yes, a Stardom belt and Ice Ribbon. That's kind of interesting, but I don't know how this will play out, but I think it's pretty amazing. But Yuki defeated Zuzu, I think. I think she defeated her. Let me look it up. I don't see anything about that. Hold on. Yeah. So seems like she retired. She won the match and she retained as the Triangle Ribbon Champion. She is the second so far this year to end that way. Now, the obvious question does remain for this. What does this mean for the title? Well, it will be vacant, and I'm assuming there's going to be a tournament taking place. So, yeah. So, we'll see what happens then. I'm sure Ice Ribbon will be figuring that out. If you guys wondering who I'm talking about, recently Tsukushi Aruka retired as with the company a few months ago. She retired as the Ice Infinity champion. Now, interesting tweets have come out. The first one is from the Evolution. Is a bit of a something that all Japan has been working. They are planning to have women wrestling in their like a separate programming, and this is what they had to say on their Twitter page. Let me pull it up real quick. So yeah, here it is. Um, Evolution is newly launched this year. Thanks to all the people who have been supporting us from nothing yet. We Evil Girls are able to practice hard. Next year, we'll work harder every day to shape our activities as a women's professional organization. I would appreciate if you would warmly watch us the preparation period of Evolution. So, looks like their progress is doing well. The girls are training well. So, it's still unclear when will this will be launched. It possibly could help be launched on the 23rd. Now, the second one, this is coming from the Stardom event. This is what someone tweeted, and it's also been confirmed by certain people. Stardom is working with multiple companies and many free agents for storylines to build for Yokohama Arena show with the idea of being a multi-brand all-star show. Rossi Agaro has already made a deal with Meiko Satomura, who runs Sendai Girls, to where women from Sendai Girls will be coming to start. Now, recently, Stardom has involved themselves with the New Blood events. That normally will shows only girls who are 1 or 2 or 3 years of experience. Once you reach your 3 year experience, you're already learning, already graduating from that as the future. But same thing with the other companies. We've seen companies from Diana, um, Just Tap Out, Marvelous. So we're seeing something different. We know that Suri called out um, Hashimoto, and we'll see what happens. So I'm excited for that. Now let's move on to the next. GLEAT has announced for their upcoming event of 2023 version 5 that will take place on the 8th of January. No announced. Wait a minute. Yeah. Never mind. I do have that. They announced for some matches that will be taking place. We do have like the G-Rex title match, G Rumble. Looks like we're going to find a number one competitor for the G-Rex title. Tomoaki Hamna will be there. Matches have been set. We have Jun Tosho of 60 Seconds taking on New Japan's from LIJ Bushi. And of course, Kaz Hayashi will be taking on Luigi Primo. So that's going to be awesome. Pro Wrestling Noah has announced for their Budakon event on the 1st. The GHC Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles will be put on the line. As I mentioned before, we have brand new tag champions KZ and Yohei will be defending against Eita, and is a very unusual tag team partner, Yoshinari Ogawa. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. And finally, we have more information coming up for the New Blood event. New Blood 7, 2 matches have been announced. Rina will be taking on Mayland from World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana. And then finally, we got the one match that we definitely going to be paying attention the most. The Passion of Injection match between Nanane Takahashi and Waka Tsukiyama. The obvious question does remain in this one. Will Waka finally pick up the win? Because Tam Nakano gave her 3 months to improve, to pick up a win, or else she'll be out of Cosmic Angels. And that's something I don't want to see. I know she doesn't fit in, but I mean, I just don't want to see it happen. So we just gotta wait to see what happens till then. So for now, I think we're just gonna call it a day right here. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I may throw in two episodes. One I'll be featuring the ChocoPro event if I'm lucky, if there is a the NWA USA. We'll just gotta wait and see. If not, then I'll put something else instead. I'll make some changes if that's the case. I don't know about New Japan Strong about it, so but there are some events that I haven't seen yet. Just saw the recent All Japan that's been posted from Christmas Day, Freedoms, and a few other events. So I'm looking forward to that. So, but for now, this is what I have. But I will see you guys in next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.